What's up, y'all? I'm hanging out on the range still, as you can see back behind me. Been some really nice weather out here today to get some testing done, so I'm trying to make the most of it. I'm gonna keep it rolling with something that I think is gonna be pretty interesting for this one right here. We're gonna test out some Gold Dot 5.7 against my personal EDC round. So the jelly contraption's out here hard at work with the radar and 2 blocks of gel. Now I've done, like I said, a couple tests so far in this far block, but nothing really snuck in here except for a little piece on the back side, but that shouldn't bother anything. I've got plenty of room to see what goes on with this one. And once again, what we're checking out here are some rounds that I've tested in the past, both of them as a matter of fact. One of them being the Gold Dot, Speer Gold Dot in 5.7 by 28. Got the Gold Dot projectile here. Now I've tested these before out of my buddy Garrett's FN 5.7 and out of my PS90. Out of the FN 5.7, they did okay. I mean, wasn't a failure by any means, but they just had very, very minimal partial expansion, if I can remember correctly, and I really don't remember as far as the penetration on them. So we're gonna give those another run today, and really I just wanted to put them against my personal EDC round. I get a lot of people asking me what I personally carry. I've tested these in the past and I've talked about it in the past, but I know a lot of people miss some here and there. So what I actually carry right now is Underwood loaded Gold Dot. These are Gold Dot projectiles. Now obviously you can't get these particular ones anymore. They do have some more plus P plus loaded 9mm. If I couldn't get these, that's what I'd run. I don't run these just because there's some incredibly good round. They are good rounds in my opinion, but that's not why I run them. I just run them because they're fast moving rounds, 9mm, they stay together well. So again, if I didn't have these and once I run out of these, I'll be going with something that's just another 9mm 124 plus P plus. But for now, this is what I carry, the 124 grain Gold Dot plus P plus loaded by Underwood. They're saying 1300 FPS on this. I don't quite see that out of my MC9, which is what I carry. I think I do get into 1200s if I remember correctly, and I get perfect expansion and penetration for what I want. Here's your look at the cartridge here, nice nickel plated case, and then that Gold Dot projectile. So of course, what we're running these out of for the 5.7, I'm gonna use this PSA 5.7 rock that I just picked up. Very, very nice tool right here. I really like this thing. It's got a 4.7-inch barrel on it. And then again, for the 9mm is my EDC, the Canik Mete MC9 with the 3.1-inch barrel. So this one may not be that interesting to some people, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these side by side because people always talk about 5.7 for carry, yada, yada, yada. I already know. I don't even have to see what I'm getting ready to see. I already know there's not even a chance I would go with these 5.7s over this 124 plus P plus Gold Dot. But it should be an interesting test anyway, so let me get this stuff set up and let's check them out. All right, let's see how fast this stuff's moving, y'all. I'm gonna do a 5-round average from each one. We'll start with this 5.7 first. If y'all not familiar with this radar, like I mentioned every time, you're gonna see multiple velocities on this thing. Your big number is gonna be your muzzle, and then you'll see 5 additional ones at the bottom. You're gonna see 3 yards, which is where the gel is. Then you'll see 10, 15, 25, and 50. So let's see what we get. We may not see the 50 being that this is such a small projectile, but hopefully we will. I'm very curious to see what these are going to be running. I can't even remember off that FN test. It should be similar though. Got 1691, 1721, 1694, 1725, and 1688. So seemed a little bit inconsistent right there. Let's check the average. All right, so our 5-round average on that was 1704 feet per second. We had an extreme spread of 37 and a standard deviation of 17.6. So not the best as far as velocity consistency. I thought it was a little farther, bigger spread than that, but it's not too terrible, I guess. Let's get this reset and let's see what them 9mm do. All right, let's check out my 9mm and see what they doing. We're gonna do 5 rounds of these also. If I remember correct again, I think these are gonna be in the 1200s. I hope they are anyway. 1233, 1225, 1231, 1248, And 1234, so right there at that 1300, that's pretty doggone good to be out this 3.1 inch, and that seemed really consistent. Let's check the average on it. All right, so that time on the 9 mil, we had an average of 1234 feet per second. We had an extreme spread of 23 and a standard deviation of 8.6. If y'all remember on those 5.7s, it was 1704, so you're talking about, what is that, 470 feet per second faster from that 5.7. Now, obviously, you're talking about a 40 grain versus a 124, so that's to be expected. So velocity difference really doesn't mean much here. I'm curious to see what happens in the gel with this Gold Dot, if it performs the same as it did last time. I suspect it will, and I know what mine's gonna do. If I was guessing, mine is gonna have an excellent expansion, and it's gonna probably go 15, 16 inches of penetration. But who knows, we might get some surprises. Let me get this stuff reset, and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's my 9 mil is staying right where it's at, jelly time. I'm gonna put one of each into the gel, starting with this 5.7 first. Again, I don't remember what the penetration was on this, so I got you pulled back to about a little bit past the first block. Should be good right there. I think that thing curved up. I hope it stayed in. Let me go see what I got. All right, y'all, it did start curving up, but it didn't go far enough to poke out, so we ended up good to go down there. Looking really good down there too, so let's run this 9 mil, see what it does. All right, that should have been perfect placement. I saw a little puff of smoke, but I think that was in between the blocks. Let's go see what we got. All right, let's check this stuff out down here, y'all. Really nice performance from both of these. I didn't expect anything different. Again, I've tested them before, so I pretty much had an idea what I was gonna be looking at here. So on the top, that's the 5.7. On the bottom, that's the 9 mil. Now on the top, you can see in the background, that little stripe, a little piece. That's the only thing that's not this 5.7. Everything else are these two rounds. So the 5.7 first, up here on the top, really nice disruption as it comes in here, keeps on trucking. It starts shedding some material here, surprisingly. I don't know if it did that last time or not. It may have, but at any rate, it did this time. You can see a few little pieces there. Keeps on going into this second block, and then there you can see the projectile. It's facing forward, and it looks like it got that same type of expansion that it did last time. Definitely not full expansion as far as I can tell, but it did expand and open up a little bit. And then down here on the bottom, that's the 9 mil. Again, absolutely fantastic disruption here. Doesn't care anything about that cloth. It's moving on fast enough to get out of the way. Keeps on rolling through this first block into the second block. And these two projectiles are exactly the same distance. I mean exactly the same. If they're a 1/16 of an inch difference, that would be all it is. They are, for all intents and purposes, the exact same amount of penetration. And this 9 mil down here has got some really nice expansion on it. So let's see just how far they did go. This 5.7 is at exactly 20.5 inches, which means the 9 mil is also exactly 20.5 inches. I mean, they are exactly the same, y'all. Exact same penetration, and in my opinion, absolutely fantastic amount from both of those. So here's your little close-up. Again, 5.7 on the top, 9 mil on the bottom. You can see here, right there, you can see those little fragments from the 5.7, nothing from the 9. It didn't look like it lost anything. Keep on rolling here. If we follow up, there's your 5.7, and then if we go back down, there's your 9 mil. All right, y'all, let's check out these projectiles. Good looking stuff from both of these here. The 9 mil, absolutely perfect. It's what it looks like every single time that I've tested these. I've done a few tests on my own off of camera just because it is my EDC round, and the couple or few that I've done on camera on videos. They all do this every single time, cloth or not. These are just some fantastic performing 9 mil. And then your 5.7 here, again, it looks just like it did from the last time. I remember it looking like that little kind of star star little square deal there. And oddly enough, I think those pieces in the gel are actually the 4 petals, because there's exactly 4 little pieces of copper. So it has to be the little 4 points that busted off right there. But let's weigh them up and see what kind of material loss we had. As far as the 9 mil, it started at 124. And it is at 123.4, so we may have lost a couple of crumbs. It wouldn't surprise me as quick as that thing is moving, but not bad at all there. The 5.7 started at 40, and it's down to 36.2, so definitely a little bit of loss there, and you can see it. I think it's just those 4 petals, because I don't see anything else in the gel. And then for our sizes here, we'll start with this 9 mil. You got 510, 511, and 513, so absolutely fantastic expansion on that one. And then your 5.7 here will go across the little petal points there. You got 302 and 292, so not really too shabby of a final size on that one either, even though it's pretty obvious to me. I'm almost positive that's not full expansion. So there you go, y'all, the 5.7 by 28 Gold Dot versus a 9 mil Gold Dot loaded up to plus P plus. Really, in my opinion, there's no competition here. There is nothing I see here that even makes me want to think about swapping from this 9 mil to carrying a 5.7 like this. Now, don't get me wrong, this is definitely a capable round. I'm not saying that at all, but there is no way, no how I would swap over from carrying this 9 to this 5.7. All right, y'all, I'm calling it right there for what I think was a really interesting Gold Dot test. Again, I've tested both of these in the past and got pretty much the same results out of them, so I kind of knew what to expect. I've never seen them side by side like this, so it is pretty interesting to see that they got identical penetration. Both of them expanded decently. They got about the same looking disruption as far as the appearance of that in the gel, but one big difference between them is the energy level. This 5.7 has got the energy literally of a 22 Magnum level. That's where that's at. The 9, you know, 9, it's upwards of 400 some foot-pounds of energy, so over 200 and something pounds more than that 5.7. Now, is that a huge deal when you're talking about these shorter barrels anyway? Maybe not, but it's still a difference, and it still gives me a lot more confidence if I had to go through some type of hard barrier or something. I just do not trust this 5.7 and stuff like that. Now, you put that stuff in an SMG and it's a whole different story, but out of these smaller barrels, it really does handicap this round, especially these off-the-shelf rounds. So I guess long story short, not that I was even considering it anyway, there is no way, like I've already said, that I would switch from this 9 to carrying that 5.7. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Do any of y'all out there actually EDC this 5.7, or do some of y'all just use it for like a nightstand type of tool? Let me know down in the comments what you think about the performance you saw today from them. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure your notifications are turned on so you don't miss anything when I upload it. Like I always remind you, if you're doing some shopping, check out those affiliate links I got in the video description. I've got most of the major places that people get stuff through down there, so hit those things up. Anything you buy after going through those links, I get a kickback from them toward the channel, so I really do appreciate that. Once again, a big old thanks to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've had a lot of fun out here today. I'm trying to squeeze one more in. I think I got enough time and enough gel space, so stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.